What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPapa, and what might come as no surprise to any of you is not only do I warehouse tons and tons of data on booster boxes, elite trainer boxes, Pokemon Center elite trainer boxes, singles, grading card data, all kinds of crazy stuff. I keep that same amount of detailed data on booster packs as well. And today we're going to do a pack-a-palooza. We're going to look at all of the Sun and Moon booster packs and their current prices over the last 18 months. I have 18 months of booster pack prices, and we're going to compare them to the booster box prices over the last 18 months, and we're going to look for so many patterns or trends or anything that we can identify which might give us a leg up in the booster pack space. Now, I do want to say this. Listen, this is loose booster packs, okay? This isn't the sleeved variety. I will say this, it is actually kind of difficult for me to find consistent data on the sleeved variety, but for the packs that I can find consistent data on the loose and the sleeved, I will say this, they tend to move in lockstep. Like sleeved commands a little bit of a premium over loose, which makes sense, but their patterns are the same. They move up together, they move down together. So even though this is just the loose booster packs, you can apply the learnings from this to the sleeve variety as well, which is really, really, really exciting. Now, with that being said, listen, if this type of research and data and just overall insanity gets you excited, we would love it if you hit that subscribe button because we're building an amazing community and we'd love for you to be a part of it. If you have questions or comments, drop them down below, and if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. All right, let's keep getting into this now that that's out of the way. And listen, I wanted to call this out before we get into the data. Yes, packs can be weighed, and it makes me sad. I hate it whenever one individual has the opportunity to take advantage of another, especially when it's a known issue like this, and especially when it's been a known issue for as long as it has been. Now, I have heard that Paldea Evolved, that is fixed. Now, I'm going to have to do the test on my own and see if that's true or not, but I did hear somebody say that Paldea Evolved, now the weighing of the packs, it's kind of indifferent. So we shall see. We'll do an exercise on that and figure out what it is. But the biggest call out is when you're looking at these prices, these are market prices. Market prices. So these prices are based off of the actual sales of these items. So the people who set the market prices, collectors, hobbyists, investors, you, me, all, we're the ones who set the prices, and we know they can be weighed, right? So I want that to be incredibly important to call out. I want everybody to keep that in the top of the mind is, yes, everybody who's buying these probably knows they can be weighed. So you shouldn't factor that in. I also wanted to say this too. Just because booster packs might not be for you, it doesn't mean that it's not something you should look at from an investing standpoint, right? Like anytime you see opportunity in a market, especially if you love Pokemon collecting and investing, if you see opportunity in that space, hey, pick up 10 booster packs if they're selling at a discount and you know you can sell them at a premium further down the road. You can sell them, you can keep that money, and you can invest it into a different part of the Poke space that you might enjoy even more. That is the greatest thing. I love it when I use house money to buy something that I'm all into, right? So anyways, I wanted to call that out. Again, we're looking at 18 months of booster pack data versus booster boxes, and I'm going to do something that is incredibly hard for me. I'm going to slow down because there is a lot of data that we're going to have to go through. You know how passionate I am about this. You know how excited I get. I absolutely love doing these videos for you guys, but I'm going to try and slow down as we talk through this. So this is what it looks like, and I tried to do a couple different things here. I wanted to present the raw data, that way you guys can see the way this has ebbed and flowed over the last 18 months, and I also wanted to provide this visual representation in the middle, okay, because I'm a visual guy. When I'm trying to look at tons and tons of data, graphs are a great way for me to kind of conceptualize and see it, and you can see trends over time. So I want to walk you through all of this. So you're going to see on the big columns there on the left for Sun and Moon, obviously I have the dates going from June 2023. I just pulled the booster pack price data and the booster box prices. That goes all the way down to January of 2022. Again, we got 18 months of data, so this is really cool stuff. Then in the next column, you're going to see the booster pack price, and then the next one, you're going to see the booster box price. The interesting thing to me is to look at this ratio, so the booster pack versus booster box price, okay? So that's basically just the booster pack price divided by the booster box price. And you're going to see that that percentage changes. So when we're looking at Sun and Moon, we see that it got as low as what, 2.11% at one point, and then it got as high as 3.08%. And when it was down at 2.11%, right, that might have been an indicator to us if we had said, hey, anything less than 2.3 is a buy. If we had bought that at 2.11, we'd paid $4.35 for it. And then when it got up to 3.08, maybe we had said, hey, anything over 3 is a sell. Then it was all the way up to $6.57. So I mean, if you had bought then at 3.35 or $3.35 and you'd sold at $6.57, right? You had had these markers in there. I mean, that's a $2 profit per pack. Now it would have been a little bit less than that once you do fees and shipping and all that stuff, but you still could have made $1.50 per pack or something like that, which is a really great rate of return on a $4.35 investment, okay? Now, when you get to the top of that area, you're going to see I have BP times 36, and that's just the current booster pack price times 36 because there's 36 packs in a booster box. And then underneath that, I have the booster box price, right? So you can see that, hey, if I were to buy 36 loose Sun and Moon booster packs, it would cost me $223.56, or I could go out and buy a sealed booster box for $227. Now, for me, I'm going to pay the extra $5 to get the sealed booster box because I don't have to worry about the weighing. I don't have to worry about any funny business. So this ratio of 2.74% to me is way too high. There's not enough there, right? To me, this tells me that, hey, I would rather buy a booster box than a booster pack. I also included over here the booster pack percent change over the last 18 months. And this is, Sun and Moon is an interesting example to use first because you're never going to see this again in the rest of the whole video. So you also see the booster box percent change at 27%. This is the only set where booster packs have grown at a greater rate than booster box. Now, I have been saying on this channel for a while that I think the Sun and Moon booster boxes are a little bit undervalued. Now, they're getting to be a little bit older, right? Like, I mean, it's 2 generations old now. Scarlet and Violet's out. Sword and Shield is done. Sun and Moon was obviously 2 behind that. And it just hasn't seen the price appreciation that we've seen in the Sword and Shield booster box. Gosh, this is hard for me to stay calm and stay slow, but I'm trying. So this was really interesting. So this might give us an indicator of, hey, listen, the booster packs are going up. Obviously, people want the cards. That's why they're buying the booster packs. So maybe this is a great opportunity to get in the booster box. So we've already identified, just by looking at this first little batch of data, like some opportunities, some market signals, which might tell us, hey, when should we get in? When should we get out? You know, when might there be a buying opportunity, either in the booster pack or in the booster box space. Now, what is really interesting to me, I'm going to pivot over to these graphs in the middle. It's interesting to see the booster box price over time. Now, these ones aren't quite so pronounced. These have had some really relatively consistent, relatively slow ebbs and flows. But as we get into the meat of this video, you're going to see some absolute crazy graphs. And it is really interesting. To me, it's fascinating to look at data represented this way. So the orange represents the booster box price, and then the gray represents that ratio I was talking about. Again, we're looking for points where the gray is low because that tells us there might be a buying opportunity. And then we're looking for points where the gray is high because that might represent a selling opportunity. Now that we've talked through that, let's get into Guardians Rising. So Guardians Rising is another one where we're going to get back to kind of what we'll see as a trend through the rest of this video. Booster packs have only gone up 10% over the last 18 months, while the booster box has absolutely skyrocketed 33.3%. Now, we talked about some signals, some indicators earlier on. The booster pack to booster box ratio right now is 2.23. Now, I know that we're just starting this video out, but I'm going to tell you that is pretty low in the grand scheme of things. Like when you look at all of these, you will see that, okay, even looking at Sun and Moon on the left, like there's not a lot in the 2.2 range. So 2.23 for Guardian Rising at $7.75. Maybe it's an opportunity to get in. Again, if it ever gets up to the 3% range, you know that you're going to be in money. The other thing that you see is the divergence here. You see the orange bars going up and to the right in the Guardian Rising graph, right? Because the booster box price has been slowly going up. Not a ton, but slowly going up. And then you see the gray where the ratio is coming down. Now, that might mean that the booster packs are about to come up because everybody's valuing the booster boxes, or that might mean that the booster boxes might have to come down. But I do think that we're going to find some kind of average rate. I'll tell you right now, it's 2.5 is the average rate that we see as the ratio. So right now, this is below the average rate by a decent amount at 2.23%. So this could indicate a buying opportunity. Now, those are the first 2. We're doing 2 per slide because I thought that was the easiest way to do this. Now we have Crimson Invasion and Burning Shadows right here. Look at Burning Shadows. This is what I was talking about when you see the orange bars that just go all over the place in regards to booster box price. The Burning Shadows booster box price has just been up and down and left and right and all over the place. It is down off of a 1-year high, but it is trying to fight its way back up. Look at what that booster box has done over the last 6 months since January. Look at the orange bar, January, February, March, April, May, June. It is just continuing this crazy upward in the right trajectory. And look at what has happened to that gray line. It's starting to come down again because the booster box price is going up so quickly. The booster pack ratio is down to 2.26%, which is kind of interesting. You know, booster packs haven't grown a lot over the last 18 months, only 8.9%. Booster boxes are up 13.5%. So I don't know if you're bullish on Burning Shadows long term, right? Like if you think that people are going to continue to chase this, got that big bad Zard in there, then maybe the booster packs is a decent opportunity to get in right now. Spoiler alert, there's some even better ratios at the very end of this video, so don't be pausing the video and jumping in on Burning Shadows right now. There's some even better opportunities. Then we look at Crimson Invasion. Crimson Invasion has kind of had this slow little wave to the booster box price, and again, you see that this isn't a great opportunity for Crimson Invasion booster packs, right? Because the booster pack ratio right now is 2.92%. That is way too expensive. When you look at the booster pack times 36, it would cost you more to buy 36 loose booster packs than it would to buy one sealed booster box. So this is a great indicator to us to say, no freaking way, why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just buy a booster box if I really want some exposure to Crimson Invasion? So again, this is an incredibly cool video with incredibly cool data, which gives us these awesome signals out there. So again, if you're holding Crimson Invasion, it might be a good time to sell some of those booster packs because the ratio is getting super high. But certainly if it's me, if I'm spending my money, I am not out there buying Crimson Invasion booster packs. So the next group right here, we're starting to get into some really cool stuff. Ultra Prism. Again, Ultra Prism, the ratio right now, 2.63. It's a little rich for my blood. But look at how steady, Eddie, the box price has been going. And then look at the booster pack price. Booster pack price is down 13.5% over the last 18 months. Now, 18 months ago, if you were looking at Ultra Prism and you were looking at buying the booster packs and you had watched this video and you'd seen this data, you would see that the ratio was 4.14%, 4.24%, 3.8%. Like, you would have seen it in the high threes, low fours, and you would have said, no freaking way am I pulling the trigger on booster packs. Why would I spend my hard-earned money on that? It just doesn't make sense right now. So what has naturally happened? The booster box price has gone up because the market was saying these booster packs are really, really valuable. We want to buy them. We're going to overpay for them, which means that the product was super hot. And then we saw the booster box price go up. As the booster box price went up, booster pack prices come down, and we see this ratio start to come in line. This Ultra Prism graph is absolutely a thing of freaking beauty if you want to talk about how two different products can be a leading or lagging indicator into another. Super cool stuff. Forbidden Light. Now we get to see the other end of the coin. Look at what the booster box price has done in Forbidden Light over the last, 8-9 months. It is absolutely cratered. Now it is starting to fight up a little bit. It's kind of flattened out, but Forbidden Light, for whatever reason, just isn't gaining a ton of traction out there. And again, this is another example where you would overpay for 36 loose booster packs versus just buying a friggin' booster box right out. It is absolutely crazy. Now, booster pack prices have come down, as has booster box price over the last 18 months, but booster packs have come down more. Look at that. I love seeing this representation. Look at how high that gray line is compared to the orange line. Again, if you are looking for booster packs, this is not the time to be shopping in the Forbidden Light space. So, next one right here, Celestial Storm and Lost Thunder, another couple just absolute beautiful graphs. We have Celestial Storm right here. Booster packs have gone up 6% over the last 18 months. Booster boxes have gone up 44%. Absolute lunacy. Now, I will say this, the booster boxes have been going up in price, but the booster packs haven't been changing enough in price. So, what we need for that ratio to come down is we either need booster pack prices to come down or the booster boxes to continue to go up. I do think Celestial Storm is going to continue to appreciate in value from a booster box price, so I do think that that ratio will come back in line at some point. I don't know when, but I mean, it's only going to take a couple more months if Celestial Storm continues this upward in the right trajectory. As I said in one of my earlier videos, like, we do these quarterly upward confidence bound and lower confidence bounds. I've been working hard on that data in the background, and it's really interesting to see where it has Celestial Storm projected out by the next quarter. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't hit the subscriber button yet, do it. We do all kinds of fun stuff like this all the time. Then you look at Lost Thunder and you see the exact same thing, except you're starting to see the booster box price catch up, right? You're starting to see that ratio come down. You looked 18 months ago in January of 2022, that ratio was 3.28 because of the appreciation in booster box and because the booster packs have been essentially flat over that entire period of time. You were starting to see that ratio come down to 2.43. I still think 2.43 is a little rich for my blood. I would not be buying Lost Thunder booster packs at that ratio. I'm looking for anything that's 2.2 or less. We have looked at too much data over too long to not feel confident that if that ratio is below 2.2, that it is not going to bounce up. So, if it gets in the 2.2 range, I like Lost Thunder. I think it's a really cool set. I would be happy to buy some loose booster packs, knowing that, hey, I might not rip them, but I do think that at some point the price is going to appreciate and come back up into that the high 2s, low 3 areas. All right, so with that being said, next one right here, Team Up. I mean, Team Up is just stupid. Unbroken Bonds. We'll start with Unbroken Bonds. Again, Unbroken Bonds has had this really crazy booster box trajectory. It went up and then it flatlined. You don't see that a lot. Like, you always see a little bit of ups and a little bit of downs, but Unbroken Bonds really did flatline there for about a 5 or 6 month period, which was super interesting. Then it dropped down. Now it's fought its way back up, but it's been really consistent from a booster pack to booster box price ratio. So the booster packs have only gained 1.3% over the last 18 months. Booster boxes have gone up 11%. One of the big things too that I noticed when doing this is booster packs as a long-term investment aren't necessarily the best thing. This isn't something that I would buy as a buy and hold investment. It is something that I would buy when the market is undervaluing it, right? When the ratio is super low, I would buy it. And then when the ratio comes back into place, I would go ahead and sell it, because we've looked at a lot of these 18-month returns and booster boxes are just where it's at. But if you're looking for some way to get in and out of the market relatively quickly and to maybe make some quick cash, when we see these ratios that are out of whack, this could be an awesome opportunity to jump in and make some fun plays. This is the kind of stuff that's really fun, right? Like, you can try buying one booster pack and get in and get out of it. And if you make $2, who cares? Just the exercise of going through it. You build more confidence, you build some steam, like you start to get used to doing this kind of stuff. There is value in practice, right? Practice makes perfect. So this is a cool opportunity to do this with very little risk, because we have so much data to support the point where we get in and support the point when we get out. Then Team Up. Listen, Team Up, the booster box is just, the booster box price is the thing that's driving this. Like, the booster packs just cannot keep up with the booster box price. This is the one where, even though it's a 2.07%, I don't know if this can be a $30 booster pack. I mean, maybe it can. We got Plasma Blast and Plasma Freeze. We got all of these black and white era packs and earlier where they are. I mean, they're $30, $40, $50, $100 packs. So maybe Team Up packs can get there. It certainly checks all of the boxes and the ratio is there. So, I mean, if you wanted to dip a toe into Team Up, the data is there to support that the booster packs will do well in the long run. So again, if you want some exposure to Team Up, if you don't want to spend a mint on the booster box, if you don't want to do anything crazy like that, spending $30 on a booster pack, if you can get it in here, the ratio is incredibly low compared to all of its peers, so it might indicate a decent time to get in. And hey, wouldn't all of us love to say we have some Team Up product in our Poke Closet? Like, super cool stuff. All right, so now we get into Unified Minds and Cosmic Eclipse. Obviously, these are the final two. These are the newest ones, and this is what I was talking about. We're going to talk about Cosmic Eclipse. I'm incredibly bullish. This is the lowest ratio that we have seen. Now, the thing to call out about Cosmic Eclipse, okay? Now, I know the ratio is at 1.77, which everybody might be going, oh my God, Ryan, that's the lowest we've seen. Let's all go out and pile into Cosmic Eclipse booster packs. But look at the important reason why I show all 18 months worth of data and just not the final one, is because this has been hovering around 2% for a long time. It got as high as 2.43, but it spent a lot of time in the high ones, a lot of time in the low twos over the last 18 months. So there might be an indicator. This might just say, hey, that is what the market values at it. Now, I still think 1.77 is a ridiculously low ratio for Cosmic Eclipse booster packs. Like, this set is absolute fire, amazing cards. The booster box is just going nuts, right? Look at that. Over the last 3 or 4 months, we've seen an incredible increase in Cosmic Eclipse booster box price, and that's what's driving that ratio lower, pretty much lower than we've seen in the last 18 months. I think this is the second lowest it's been out of the all 18 months. And that's because sometimes the market doesn't always react at the exact same time. Booster boxes are going up, packs are still staying flat. Collectors and investors might have not realized the opportunity there, but you guys know how bullish I am on Cosmic Eclipse. Like, Cosmic Eclipse, I buy the Arceus V premium figure collections simply because it has, well, number one, I love the Arceus, and number two, it's got 2 packs of Brilliant Stars, it's got a Cosmic Eclipse booster pack in it, so I think that that's one of the things that we should be chasing, and I do think that this is an incredible opportunity to get in on Cosmic Eclipse booster packs. Then you look at Unified Minds. I love this graph from Unified Minds simply from a booster box perspective. Look at the way that booster box has absolutely soared. And again, this is one where the booster packs are out of whack. The booster packs are too high. I am interested in the fact that when booster pack ratios are super high, we start to see the booster box prices go up as well. And that's because when people have interest in the set, they're going to say, why would I buy these booster packs? Why would I spend the equivalent of 36 booster packs when I could buy a booster box for less than that? It just doesn't make any sense. And this is super cool stuff. So I hope I did a great job of staying calm and keeping my mouth shut for this entire video, because it was really, really hard, but I wanted to make sure that I was very specific in the way I talked, and I wanted to make sure that I gave a good synopsis of every single set, because I think there's some incredible learnings in here. So one of the biggest learnings was 2.5 was the average ratio for booster packs to booster boxes across the whole series. If I'm buying, listen, I want a steep discount, just like I said. I want it in the 2.2 or less area. I don't think 2.5 is attractive enough for me. The closer to 2 2, the better. Listen, Cosmic Eclipse and Team Up were the lowest. I think Cosmic Eclipse is a real good opportunity. I think that set's going to perform and age really, really well. Team Up, you want exposure to Team Up? I think this is a cool opportunity to do it without breaking the bank. Crimson Invasion and Forbidden Light were the highest. Again, I'm not touching that. And there were 3 instances where booster packs were down over the last 18 months. In 1 instance where a booster box was down over the last 18 months. And that is what I want to reemphasize what I said a couple slides ago is when I look at booster pack buying and selling, this is more trading, right? You're not investing, you're trading because you're trying to get in when the market is super low. You're trying to get out when the market is high. You're using ratios in order to drive that. You don't have a lot of emotional attachment to these. You're using market buy, market sell signals in order to get in and get out, in order to make a couple dollars, in order to invest in stuff that you enjoy more. Maybe you want a Unified Minds booster box, right? So maybe you're going to buy some loose booster packs and you're going to put that money aside and buy a full booster box in the future. Again, booster boxes outperformed booster packs in every instance except that Sun and Moon base, and booster packs gained an average of about 12% over the last 18 months, while booster boxes, just stupid, almost 28% over the last 18 months. Hey, super cool video, super cool data. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I do. And if you made it all the way to the end, I'm telling you right now, we have some really, really awesome data-driven stuff coming up at the end of the quarter. I would love it if you're around for it. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. Drop a comment down below. I appreciate you. You guys have an epic day, okay? Thanks, everybody. Bye.